Welcome. I'm Dr. John Lawrence, and we're doing a Facebook Live, so welcome to you if you're joining us here. So, something that I find to be incredibly important just for longevity, health, vitality is sleep. And so, over the years, I've really taken a lot of time to research and take a deep dive myself into how I can help my patients get better sleep. And I think that is a common theme for a lot of people that don't get poor sleep and just don't feel great all the time. But you know, you get a good night's sleep and you wake up fresh and you feel good. I mean, that's amazing, right? I mean, there's nothing like that. You have a great day. When you get a good night's sleep, typically what you'll do is you'll wake up and you'll have a good day, you'll be productive, and you'll expend energy, where then you'll save up what's called sleep stress, right, or sleep pressure, and then you'll sleep very deeply that night. So it's a rhythm, you know, it's a circadian rhythm, and so it has to do with the sunlight, it has to do with your ability to maintain good blue and green light earlier in the day, and then more red light at night. I've got some of my staff member that's here in the audience, and I know they've heard me talk a lot about having patients wear blue blocking glasses at night, because so often we're subjecting our brain, really, because the light is going through our eyes when we're on our computer or our cell phones, and that's projecting onto our retina, and that has a certain signal to us physically and neurologically to tell us to be awake. And so this rhythm of sleep and wake, which goes much deeper than just being sleep and awake, because there's all these different things that actually work in these different cycles in particular. So when you goof it up, all kinds of negative health problems can occur. So with regards to maintaining that cycle, because 100, 200 years ago we didn't have lights, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers. And so, you know, we had candlelight and fire. And so anybody that's been to my house at night, you know, it's like being in a submarine. You know, I've got red lights at the house. I wear blue blocking glasses. You know, once the sun goes down, that's what I do. And this is just one of many techniques that I share with my patients and my staff with regards to how to maximize sleep. We don't have time to get into all of those details today. What we're going to really focus on today is the brain and the nervous system. So sleep is really important for regeneration. So when we're sleeping, this is when our body is actually repairing itself. So it's extremely important. So if we're not sleeping, then all the traumas and repetitive stress and damage that we create during the daytime doesn't actually get fixed, and so it can super exacerbate and speed up the process of aging. And so in fact, they've been able to find that when people get poor sleep, that it promotes a lot of the degenerative neurologic diseases that we're seeing become very rampant. We're going to be talking about how that actually happens. So the really interesting study is they found that sleep deprivation causes you to be less interested in social interaction. So when you don't get enough sleep, it promotes loneliness, feelings of loneliness. And the science shows us that emotions of loneliness will actually cause a shift in our immunity from viral immunity, which is more impactful when you're out in social events. You could get a virus infection, right? But when you're by yourself, more of your issue is going to be bacteria. So they actually found that the emotions of loneliness, which is promoted by lack of sleep, actually makes a shift in your genes where your immunity actually shifts from virus to bacteria. I think that's absolutely amazing, right? So this is a picture of the glymphatic system. A lot of people have heard of the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is your body's gutter system. And the lymphatic system, I know my staff is here, we talk a lot about the lymphatic system and the glymphatic system as it relates to the CVAC, right? We've got one of these 55 machines worldwide here, right here in our clinic. And it's this pod, and people get into it, and it changes the pressure, right? And so this is moving fluid compartments in the body, which is getting rid of the waste, very important, because these things accumulate when we make energy and we metabolize certain nutrients and products when we eat and we expend energy. So it's important for us to have a mechanism where we clear this metabolic waste, and that's the lymphatic system. But there's actually a system that has relatively new been discovered by science called the glymphatic system. And the glymphatic system is actually the same thing, but in your brain. And this is a picture of the glymphatic system, and it's actually showing how the glymphatic system moves fluid in and out of these bloodstreams and CSF. So the glymphatic system is deep cleansing of the brain, and it removes waste products from the brain, and it's the most efficient during deep sleep. This is the biggest promotion of the glymphatic system that we have, is deep sleep. Very interesting fact, Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, back in the day, I know this is like really old school, a lot of people here in the audience, probably weren't paying attention or around back then, but Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher used to really brag about the fact that they didn't need sleep. They could get by on 5 hours of sleep, no problem. They felt great, right? Very interesting fact, though, is both of them wound up getting Alzheimer's and dying from Alzheimer's. And we're going to talk about why. But the glymphatic system is extremely active when you get into deep sleep. The other biggest activator that I know of the glymphatic system is the CVAC, which, again, we have one of these pods that we put our patients into, and we find it to be very beneficial for a lot of neurological cases. Here's an article on the glymphatic system. Intriguingly, the glymphatic system functions mainly during sleep and is largely disengaged during wakefulness. The biological need for sleep across all species may therefore reflect that the brain must enter a state of activity that enables elimination and potentially neurotoxic waste products, including, wait for it, amyloid beta. Right? Have we heard this word before? If not, you're not watching TV, you're not on the computer, you're not following what's going on with Alzheimer's, which is a massive epidemic. And the Alzheimer's disease is absolutely horrific, and if you've known anybody that's been associated or they've had family members, it's just terrible. I mean, imagine if your parents don't even know who you are, and imagine if you got up and you walked out of the door, right, and you completely forgot why you went there, where you are, what your name is, your phone number. I mean, this is the devastating disease of Alzheimer's. And so what Alzheimer's is, and the science has been very difficult to actually figure out what can be done about Alzheimer's, because they've tried all these different drugs and they haven't been able to find out a cure for it. But they do see that there's this accumulation of all of this amyloid beta. So they're trying to develop drugs to target clearing out that amyloid beta. But what's the biggest clearance for amyloid beta? Anybody can guess? So this is what it looks like. So amyloid plaque and neurofibrillary tangles cause degradation of neurons and Alzheimer's disease. There are immune complexes, okay, and these immune complexes basically encapsulate toxins and bacteria and infection in the brain and central nervous system. That's what their job is. So these proteins are there. They're actually your brain's immune system. When something comes in, they wrap around it to keep it from actually spreading and becoming a problem in your brain. But if you don't have a mechanism to clear those amyloid beta, which are normal occurring substances, then these amyloid beta start accumulating, and they start looking at this amyloid beta like, hey, this is the problem. So it would be kind of like, this would be the best analogy I would have. Imagine that all of the trash people, the people that come pick up your trash, went on strike. But you're still making trash, right? You're still cooking and you're throwing away your trash from your kitchen and whatnot. You're putting your bag of trash out by the road. A week goes by, a month goes by, all of a sudden there's a massive rat infiltration, right? Rats are everywhere. So now all of a sudden everybody's looking, we got a rat problem. Okay, so is it the rats or is it the trash? So what medicine is doing right now is they're chasing the rats. They're not actually addressing the problem, right? The problem is that we're not clearing that amyloid beta. And this is because these processes really are very difficult to target. A lot of neurological problems are very difficult to target with one simple chemical, because these diseases are multifactorial and they're complex, and they require the type of care that we provide here at the office, which includes working with patients with sleep, managing stress, doing things to promote what's called autophagy, which is where the body clears toxins. And my staff is in the audience today, and they know I talk about fasting quite a bit. And we'll have to do another one of these Facebook Lives where we talk about fasting, intermittent fasting, to promote autophagy, where you clear out a lot of these old, dead, and dying cells and you recycle them. Unique and powerful formulations and delivery systems, sustained release technology, and specialized probiotic strains that support specific therapeutic targets. For more information about our exciting product lineup, you can go to advancedbiocorp.com, or you can email us at info@advancedbiocorp, or give us a call. Remember, if healing is possible, consider it to be within your reach. Bye for now.